Hello, welcome to Prequel, Sequel, Requel, the show where we take a film and give it a prequel, a sequel, and a requel. With me on this episode, Dom Huston.
Hello.
Noel Curry.
Heidi.
Myself, Chris Lumb.
Hello.
Terry Shaw.
Hello.
And Eddie French.
Hiya.
Today's film is, drumroll, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, you can't say drum roll.
And then
Prequel, establish the law. Sequel, then give us some more. Prequel, not the same as before. Prequel, sequel, requel.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, start your engines. You're about to take an incredible ride with one of the most wonderful family films of all time, with its clever tunes, including the Oscar-nominated title song, marvellous cast and enchanting storyline. This delightful romp is lots of fun and simply too sweet to pass up.
That is out of the film.
Dick Van Dyke stars as eccentric inventor Caractacus Potts, who creates oh fucking hell. Dick Van Dyke stars as eccentric inventor Caractacus Potts, who creates an extraordinary car called Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. It not only drives but also flies and floats, spoilers, as it leads him, his two children and his beautiful lady friend, truly scrumptious, Sally Ann Howes, into a magical world of pirates, castles, and endless adventure. Okay, let's start with the prequels. Let's go Noel first.
Okay, my prequel, I figured it's a car full of gadgets. It's owned by Q.
Initially, yes, it is. Yeah.
It's been written by Ian Fleming.
Yeah.
It's the Bond. It's the original Bond car.
It is.
So we're going back to the original Bond. Obviously, it doesn't quite fit in with the timeline of James Bond. So it's James Bond's father.
Right.
James Bond senior.
Right.
So instead of foiling the Russians and saving the world from the communists, he's kind of undermining plans for the Indians to rebel and reclaim their country back.
Right.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Thwarting
Finally, an enemy worth fighting.
For the Empire.
for the Empire. It's called Imperial Bond.
I like that. That's good.
You know, he's robbing rights, basically.
Is his father also a naval commander? Because that would tie into the floating.
The floating, yes. We start at sea. And he's got the whole cap on.
Yeah.
Everything. And lots of pretty bad double entendres, and sleeps with somebody and goes, "Well, you bang better than my car."
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Carrying up the chitty.
well, to be honest, Truly Scrumptious is about as bad as any Bond girl name that there's ever been. You know,
That's why he called her that, because of the Ian Fleming connection. Anyway.
Yes,
That's why Roald Dahl did it, for a bit of a laugh at Ian Fleming's expense.
Because he also wrote the screenplay to You Only Live Twice.
Yeah,
Dahl,
that's right.
So he he didn't cross any of them over, which I thought was a shame. But does
The BFG would have made a nice cameo in that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I just thought, why didn't they live next door to the Twits?
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Okay, let's like it. Why not? Yeah. Dom, let's see what you got.
So I've got a child catcher origin story.
Oh, nice.
Right. It's a bit of a dark one, for obvious reasons. Percy Peterson. He's a rich, spoilt kid. Basically, he's one of those, like in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, what's Veruca Salt?
Yeah.
I want that now. I
Yeah.
want that now. He's one of them. Collects everything he sees. You know, the equivalent of Pokemon cards in that sort of area. Everything goes
Cigarette
around.
cards, presumably.
Yes, and then one day he gets a new brother, and the new brother starts to take all the attention, and he's like, "Fuck this shit, I don't like this." So
A very Victorian attitude to have.
yes, he starts a new collection, collecting children,
Oh my God.
So
and he becomes the child collector. But obviously, he needs to catch the fuckers.
Can I just? Does he hate kids or does he like kids?
He doesn't. He's ambivalent to them completely. He just collects them. He's a collector.
So it's like when I used to collect my football album stickers. I didn't really like football,
Yeah.
but I just Had to have them.
Just
What
a
he does
natural
is he
born
gets the
completist.
kids and he puts them in a pristine plastic case so that they can never be.
Chloroform them and pin
Yeah.
them down.
Does he send them away, get them graded, and get them back in those plastic slabs?
Yeah, and he's got them all on his wall.
Oh, brilliant.
And then occasionally he brings people around going, I've almost got the full set of that family.
Yeah.
There's just 2 kids having it.
The Chinese.
Is he just there with a load
a
of
couple of
kids
glitter every now and then.
Got, need!
Yeah.
Well, he's
And
got,
then he goes with his big net.
Yeah.
there was that one Catholic family. He goes, I thought I had the full set.
Yeah, they're like, oh god, the add-ons. It's like downloadable content. It's really annoying.
Season pass.
So that's mine.
Let's go, I like that. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Okay. Right, go on, I'll do mine and we'll go to Terry. Mine is. I wanted to pick a character that didn't really get any airtime much.
Is it Harrison Ford?
No,
I've gone the old curry method.
mine is called The Adventures of Me Old Bamboo.
You've written a film about a stick.
Yeah. I just thought I wanted it to really
It starts with E.T. collecting him.
For half
Feel free to chip in on this because I've not got much.
You know what? For half a second, I thought you were going to do Barbara Windsor's back.
No.
No,
Never
a
touched
stick.
Babs.
No. Babs
Not with a bamboo stick.
No. Well, it's funny because she's involved in this. No. This is just the chronicle of the bamboo stick, and its many voyages from being used as a walking stick to being used as another walking stick.
Tell us more, Chris.
Can't.
No, tell us more.
Like the Chinese Excalibur gets passed.
Yeah,
from-
generation to
From
generation.
panda to panda.
So when you see it, and it all leads into the where it ends up at the carnival in the film, and it's in the bucket, and he picks it
It's
out.
had enough of walking sticks and now wants to be in showbiz.
Yeah. It's been its ambition, so that's the ultimate.
Are we seeing Chitty Chitty Bang Bang from the bamboo side? So in the background, so there's a whole story with the bamboo while the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang story is going on in the background.
Well, no, because I couldn't get the rights to
Right.
Chitty Bang, so
bamboo.
it's had to be a separate entity.
Right.
That just leads into it. That's how you get them. You see, you think I don't
Yeah.
need to reference Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I can have it as its own thing, and then maybe I can.
That's how all
Not really a
prequels work.
prequel then.
yeah, but I don't want to have to deal with the Fleming estate and all that, and I just I can just do it as its own thing.
Yeah.
Maybe animated. I'm
maybe.
open for that if people want to change it.
Lots of
Do
singing
you
and
know
dancing.
Yeah.
I bet that every animator has wanted to animate a stick
I know.
for a full. I mean, what
I
Chitty
think if you
Chitty
get
Bang
one-
Bang, 2.5 hours long? I think we need to at least equal it for us to get a good idea of what the bamboo
I mean, just
is.
think about because the stick can float as well. I mean,
Oh, mate.
The water
the
effects.
possibilities
Yeah,
are endless.
yeah.
I mean, the water effects at Pixar now are glorious.
Are
I mean,
you thinking that this would be a Pixar?
Pixar
Right.
joint, it'd be like,
I'm thinking more South Park.
Well, it's somewhere between the two.
I mean, no, Pixar, that stick would look amazing, wouldn't it? Floating around.
It would have to, Chris. It would have to.
And then,
Yeah.
you have the human interaction. Somebody maybe picks the stick up at some point.
Whoa.
And, they have to animate all
That's
this.
gonna
It's
be
not going to animate itselove.
Oh, I understand what a cartoon is.
Yeah. So just, the amount of scrapes it could get into.
Shall we move on?
Who have you got in mind for the voice?
It's got, no, he won't do it. It's thingy who does all Pixar stuff. What's his name? John Ratson.
Cliffy from
Yeah, a stick. I'm flying down the river.
I'm an old bamboo.
An old bamboo. I love how nobody knows that bit.
Don't think too much of it.
when he gets put in, if he gets taken to a bar or a tavern, gets put in the stand with some other walking sticks, he can have a chat like, I see you're made of oak. I knew an
Yeah.
oak back in the day. Tell you something. Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah. So you got,
So
you're learning things all the way through.
There's that scene in the original film, and there's a scene in Frasier where they refer to an umbrella as a bumbershoot, and those are the only two places I've ever heard them refer to an umbrella as a bumbershoot.
Yeah,
Right.
But in Frasier, the whole point is that Niall stops saying it because they think that's what British people call an umbrella.
Yeah.
Which,
Wow.
in case you're wondering, no. It's not umbrella. We know what that word is. Yeah, it's very strange.
Or a rain deflector.
I thought when they first said it, I thought bumbershoot was some kind of sort of Jamaican yardie slang. 'Cause it sounds really like bumper class. It's really not alright. So yeah.
So that got a lot more mileage than I thought we were. So, Terry, what have you got for us?
All right, okay. So here we visit the life of Grandpa. Is it Bungie Potts or Bungie? What's his middle name? Never
I
mind.
think it's Bungie. Huh?
Bungie. So here we visit the life of a Grandpa Bungie Potts. I've titled this "Bang Bang, I Landed in a Cuckoo's Nest," so you can kind of guess where this might be going, right?
to an asylum?
Maybe, yeah. So, being rather joyfully off his head, he's got a lust for exploring, not being satisfied with being on the ground where all the people are. He kind of finds it really hard to integrate into society.
Mm-hmm.
He is constantly trying to get off the ground with various hilarious inventory efforts, like hot air balloon, wings, other contraptions. Kind of imagine like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest meets Up with a bit of Birdman mixed in.
John Ratzer again, he'll be in it.
He'll be in that one.
Yeah, he'll be
all
in the
over
up bits, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So after spending many various hilarious episodes on top of buildings, etc., trying to take flight, he is banged up in an asylum.
Right. Clever.
Bang Banged Up could be another title, I'm not quite sure.
It's all to work on.
It's good.
So this is where we discover the wonderful world of Grandpa Bungie and his marvellous mind. We see him and his inmate comrades go on an adventure after adventure, revealing at the end that they are all his daydreams.
Whoa.
And the big reveal...
That wasn't the big reveal.
There's a bigger reveal.
Oh, there's a bigger reveal.
Oh, mate, it's the old 1-2 right here.
No, this is a prequel, don't
On
forget.
your own bamboo.
The old 1-2, the old bamboo.
This is a prequel, don't forget.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was actually all
dead at
just
the
a
old time.
dream.
Whoa.
Shitty Shitty Bang Bang was
Hang on.
actually a sledge.
So in the prequel, you're
Yeah.
telling people that the whole
The
film
upcoming
Yeah.
This is
just a
dream.
It was
dream.
Wow.
all Grandpa's dream.
That's deep.
Imagine
Wow.
that.
And we're trying to get the...
in which he plays no role.
It's his fantasy,
Well, he's
isn't it?
always walking
It's like
into
having a
his
sex
little
dream
hut,
watching
so
it,
he's
yeah.
going
Yeah.
somewhere.
Wow.
He doesn't go
All
anywhere
right.
I mean,
else.
when he says, I'm off to Alaska, he just means a shit, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, that's where
I
I'm.
was-
Yeah,
right.
that's
And
what
is there
based
anything
on.
in that for the stick market? we're trying to snapshot
Oh,
stick
yeah,
market.
because I mean, obviously he's gonna be getting electrified and bashed with sticks while he's in the asylum. Yeah.
Oh,
That
shit.
Nurse Ratchet is a bitch, isn't she?
Wow.
Take your medicine, Pops.
So
Rated 12A.
So for casting his wonderful role, I thought Robert Downey Jr. would do quite a good job at being a bit mad. And I thought Gwyneth Paltrow, why not, as the lovely psych nurse that has a soft spot for him and looks out for him.
Between beings.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, all his
That's
like,
when you want to be looked after, I think.
but all his images of all the truly scrumptious women in the future films, kind of are based on her. Really. It's a bit deep, this, isn't it? It's not really.
So, no, it's all right.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a stick.
Yeah.
It's not a stick.
But there's sort of a Wizard of Oz aspect to it.
Yeah.
Of recasting your world with a
All right.
variation on that. Yeah, it's
It's
all
good,
right.
it's good.
Have
Okay.
I overthought this?
No.
No, if anything, we've grossly underthought.
Yeah, so your underthought will make up for our underthought, so that's fine.
Not looking at anyone other than Chris, who went, oh, there's that dancing bit with the bamboo stick. I'll write that down for anyone notices.
My one that I crossed out was called Husher by Mountain, so you've dodged that bullet, so don't worry, because all I had was
That's the
the
sequel.
title. Anyway, Eddie, please, what have you got for us?
I'm telling the story of Jemima Cooper. Now, she shares a name with someone from the original film, but this is a prequel. The year is 1879. Born on the South Downs as a baby girl. Her father is taken ill, so she and her mother and her brother are sort of working the land from a younger age than you would imagine to try and get some money. She shows some great skills. Her and her brother, they show great skills in sort of like setting traps for animals, and so they get some food that way. That's all very good. She eventually marries and has children with her husband, a young inventor by the name of Caractacus Potts. While still less than a year old, the children the little kids, they sort of trigger trigger a sort of a secret door to where Potts is actually building an army of clockwork automatons with sort of aspirations to take over the world. You see, she sees this and she feels that the only thing she can do is to destroy these things. She doesn't like what's going on. With the early sort of technology, she actually electrocutes Caractacus in the head.
What a bitch.
Yeah, in the head, and it leaves him with no memory of his evil plans, and leaves him just being a scatterbrained sort of guy. That's why, because every so often he just has a fleeting thought of taking over the world, and then goes back to building something else. Meanwhile, this has sort of caused a bit of a rift because her brother never liked Caractacus. Felt it wasn't right that they were together. So he goes slowly mad and then realises there's no going back once they've had children, which leaves him with a maniacal dislike of children. And he actually leaves the country. And well, let's put it this way. He's got a very notable nose.
Oh! What?
Yep.
Whoa!
Jemima finally, when the government come round and they sort of go, oh, we had some intelligence that there were going to be some sort of robot automatons here, and she said, don't tell anyone, but I got rid of them all. She shows them like some broken bits, and because he's just a sort of useless guy, he doesn't even notice she's gone for the first 2 years that she's left. The kids are like going, where's mummy? He's like, oh, I don't know. Ooh, put a drawer in this and now it's a machine. Oh, brilliant. She actually leaves to work for the Secret Service. She's actually wounded in the Great War, which is only a few years after the film. And she retires from field work to train new spies, but then she thinks maybe I could go back, but then she finds out that her husband and brother, now with no memory of her whatsoever, are now mortal enemies, and she just sort of spends her last in a bar with other ex-service people.
Cranky.
So she's not a bitch. after
Rated
all.
U.
No.
And there's loads of songs in there.
Oh mate, songs for days, mate.
The old Great War, the old Great War. We're all in the old Great War.
Sit in my trench, sit in my trench.
There's ouch and then ouch reprise.
No, there's some good ones, such as steam comes out of a dead man. That's good. That's a good one. And there's
Why do they still fart?
I think my brothers are wrongin'. That's a good one.
Right.
So in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, when they pretend to be kind of life-size dolls at the end, is that kind of a ghost of the memory of what he had done in the past?
If you notice, he does spend far more time than he needs to doing that, as if there's something he's trying to work out. And also, I suspect that Danny Kaye might have been in the running to play Caractacus parts. As I was watching it again, I haven't seen it in ages, I was thinking, some of this just reeks of Danny Kaye, and I don't know.
Do you know? Yeah, and the one with Julie
said no.
Andrews.
Really?
The one with Julie Andrews.
They wanted to do Van Dyke because
yeah.
he wanted to do Mary Poppins basically.
Yeah.
And offered it to Van Dyke, and he said no because he eventually said yes because they offered him a load of money.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not doing an English accent.
Yeah.
Because
fair
I
enough.
can't.
Yeah, but I just thought that had Dick Van Dyke not done it, then Danny Kaye would have been. This is far too serious for our show, but I did think that I did see some of it. I just thought.
I think Danny Kaye was getting on a bit by
Yeah.
then.
I think he probably was, but
Possibly even dead. I don't know.
Do you know what? We will never know.
We will never know. Let's move on. Okay, sequel time. So, who do we start with, Ellie? Let's start with Dom.
Okay, so after selling the dog whistle business and all that, they decided they need a new life plan. They've got some money in the bank. They need something to do. So they ended up moving to Shoreditch.
Right.
Oh, cool.
And then
Cool.
they're looking for a new business. So they're walking around, there's loads of hipsters and everything like that. They decide to open up a dessert shop. Okay? But after
Do they call it just desserts?
No, let me get that. Let me get that. After trying like several times, they're running out of money. They need to come up with a way to sort this. And they they're cooking, and they come up with a sponge-based dessert, right? And then they leave it out, and it falls on, and then somebody takes a picture of it, and they love it. And then suddenly there's people, you know, queuing outside the door every morning. They're the latest thing to get rid of. And it's called the Itty Bitty Flam Plan.
How many more businesses do they open over the course of this film? What are their names?
Is that
Is that it?
That's good.
Okay, I wonder whether you just had a series of...
No.
And
I thought of the name and went, done.
And there's no
Garrison's been
cupcakes
inspired
anywhere.
by the George Formby fat reducing grill.
There's no cupcakes anywhere in this.
No, it's just a flan shop because the hipsters, they love that, like, it works well with the second Instagram filter that you can get, and they're all outside with it. So the Itty Bitty Flan Plan.
Nice title.
Okay.
Flan plan, itty bitty flan plan.
It works.
Very good. Okay.
Okay.
Yep, fine.
It is what it is.
What else can we say? No, do another one.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not 2 scenes of a bamboo.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
struck
there's
that
more-
out. He ran with that.
I mean, yeah, Dom's made the mistake of having more than one character, and that character not being a stick.
Damn it! I put an animate object
You're
in
an
it.
idiot, man. You're
People
an
want
idiot.
inanimate
What are you
objects now. It's
What
all
are
the
you
rage.
bloody thinking?
That stick's
Right.
got many layers.
Oh.
Oh, I don't feel so bad about this. So I realised I hadn't quite finished. I had 2 ideas for this. So
Okay.
rather than one fully formed idea, I'm going to pitch 2 half-baked.
Well, if anything's half-baked, that's my plan.
It is your plan.
I've got 2 half-baked ones, which is better than 1 half-baked
Go on,
one. First one was, I was thinking the kids grow up and inherit the sweet factory,
Oh,
really get into it.
right.
But the sister dies in an accident, and due to the kid being the brother being unstable, so he changes his surname to Wonka. It's basically the Charlie Parker. Roald Dahl.
And
Roald
his first
Dahl.
name's
Dahl.
Willie.
That was his
Or-
nickname that you found out, yeah. That's good.
Or we have a kind of John Grisham type courtroom drama, because I want to see the person who, you remember the 2 spies
Yeah.
who were pushed to their death,
Yes.
basically,
Yeah.
and they're over there in the North
Yeah.
Sea.
They
You
were,
get
yeah.
out. They went. We can't swim. They just killed
Yeah,
those 2
yeah.
spies.
Yeah.
They had the
So I would
same.
see
They
the
thought of
perpetrators
them as
brought.
equal to a sandbag.
Yes.
That's how little they considered their humanity. Yeah.
And to
So
be
you
honest,
want to count
Climactic scene
all
with somebody
people
going,
accountability.
"Just treat him like a sandbag."
So it's a war crimes tribunal. Is
Yeah.
what they're pitching, please.
If I may be so
Do you have
bold,
a
Your
name?
Honour.
and for
Do you have a
me,
name for the second one?
Well, you want some kind of he's always got a jury.
Gritty,
or
gritty,
the-
bang, bang.
See, when you said jury, I thought it was going for the gavel with the bang bang.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great, agree with them.
Gritty gravel bang bang.
gritty
Gritty
gravel.
gavel.
Oh, that's good.
Gritty,
Right, okay, yeah. Okay, that's
gritty
good, yeah, that's
gavel.
good.
That's hard, isn't
And
it?
for me, those spies were the only annoying thing in the film, really. So yeah, I agree.
You were
with
glad to see
Yeah.
them.
Oh, they're dead now.
Apart from the 2.5 hour running time.
Dramatic.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think that was too long.
Was there an intermission on the version
Yeah,
you
yeah.
watched?
Yeah,
Straight
yeah.
side.
And,
The fuck is this for?
and quite a long period of time where it just went end music.
Oh yes.
I know what that is. I've seen the
Also,
film before.
the start as well. It takes ages before anything comes on screen. I thought the screen went off. I thought, what's happened?
It was an hour before he get the car.
Yeah.
It's like,
Wow. Yeah, talk about drawing it out. Anyway,
So all the shit about Van
speaking
Damme.
of drawing things out, that leads me on to mine.
That's quite a lot longer.
My sequel, it does look a lot longer, but it's not. So I just used to stick a letter in.
The sequel is The Son of Bamboo.
No, I can't. I've done my sequels in keeping with the actual. It's after the actual film. Trying to explain it. Right, mine's
Trying
called.
to explain the notion of a sequel on this episode.
It's not connected to the bamboo tale,
Oh,
so
right. Okay.
it's a separate
Alright.
thing. I have thought about it.
Promise?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is called Multi-World Meltdown. Right, so after Chitty Chitty Bang Bang flew off at the end, you know, it entered into a strange dimension. It sucked in, if you will, into the dimension, you know, as it took off. Like that.
Does the music start going, we go together like
Well, if you'd let me finish and not ruin my fucking plot, I'd tell you. Right, this is where a movie crossover takes place.
You want to start this again? I've spoiled it.
No, it's fine. You can't spoil it all. I'm going to just get it out before you do. Every time something in a film has taken off, just before the end credits, it enters this dimensions are all coming together.
Ooh, like
So,
you to try and-
Karateka's Potts, I've said his name right this time, and Truly Scrumptious are trapped with Danny and Sandy from Greece, Thelma and Louise, Doc Brown and his entire family, Charlie Bucket and Willy Wonka, and Bastian and Falcor from the Neverending Story. So they're all in this dimension together, thinking, where the fuck are we? We just took off and we're here. Like that. And so they've all got to work together to get back to their respective dimensions.
Nice. Well, you've got.
Does anyone end up back in the wrong dimension?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a Churchill dog, that is. Oh,
Like you won't believe. You know,
tell us more, Chris.
It's like Doc Brown ends up like in the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang world. He's like, what the fuck's where am I? But then
we'll never get this card at 88.
he fits right in because he's got all the inventions in the
And he's
house.
got a dog named after a famous scientist.
There you go.
like
You guys would be
Edison.
bored.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Is there any romance in this?
Of course there is.
Where is
Loads
it?
of
Where does it
romance.
lie? Who's it?
There's
Who-
loads of romance.
Come on.
Well,
Thelma and
Thelma and
Danny
Falcor.
and Louise and Sandy.
yeah.
They all discover themselves.
No, Willy
after
Wonka and
college.
Charlie Bucket have a romance.
Yeah, they could have done that in their own dimension, though.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
got
it
to
wasn't
like
legal in
while
that
we're away,
dimension.
while we're in this dimension.
International
anything goes,
waters.
you know.
That's what I want to see. Charlie Bucket skipping around going, I've just lost my virginity.
And then the film was like,
You want to
"That's
know
right."
where he put it?
I've had a golden shower. No.
Charlie Bucket just having a cigarette going, well, that makes 2 buckets I know of.
I know a young lad called Bucket.
So yeah, loads of romance, loads of intrigue, loads of excitement, adventure.
Yeah.
You name it, it's in it.
I love all your non-specific excitement.
It's got a load of stuff.
Do you know what? It's got that for days, mate. Loads of it.
Yeah, loads of it. Yeah.
Tons. Fucking tons.
So yeah, I didn't want to bog you down too much with detail.
Oh, no.
So in depth, obviously.
Yeah.
I could have, gone on for seconds with
I
that.
have to say that I put adventure, the word adventure, in mine quite a lot.
Well, do your
So
bit.
that
Your-
just
your
describes
turn.
my adventure. So
Okay.
I don't have to think of
Go
an
on,
adventure.
do your
Or is it my turn?
sequel, yeah, your turn.
My sequel.
Where you go?
This is called Silly Silly Gram Gram. Right, so we open to an older Caractacus Potts sat by the fire with his dog and his lovely wife in his arms. Oh, lovely scene, that, isn't it? Very
Yeah.
romantic.
It's nice.
Okay, he is serenading his wife with his warm buttery voice because he's good at that. But it later becomes clear when Truly Scrumptious Potts, as she's now known, is guiding him up to bed that he has lost his sight. Oh, it's truly sad, isn't it? Flashbacks.
The bang bang's now on his shins rather than the noise we
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
make.
that is it, yeah.
Keeps walking into the coffee table.
Yeah, well, he kind of knows where it is by now.
Well,
It's not too bad. But
he's that scatterbrained. Ooh, he's mad, isn't he?
flashbacks do tell us that one of his inventions had gone badly wrong and rendered him blind.
Oh.
Nasty dark start.
Daddy, what are you doing? I'm inventing the eye poker, dear.
Yeah. Ow.
Oh, you're so clever, Daddy.
It was the original iPod.
So Jeremy and Jemima, they've all grown up and left home. They're boring adults now, so it's not about them. However, there are grandchildren and they do love the granddad. So we are blessed with an old white-haired and blind Dick Van Dyke telling stories to his grandchildren where they are all undoubtedly go on a huge adventure. So now then, this is going to be a bit more of a Spy Kid inventory gadget type of movie scene. Truly Scrumptious Potts, this is where it gets good. She dreams of a more interesting life than being a carer and goes on her own adventure.
Oh, what fair weather wife this one,
Yeah.
isn't she? Bloody hell.
It's modern day, bit
She
of
seemed
feminism.
so nice in the first one.
Bit of feminism, it's a bit later on, isn't it? It's now, isn't it?
Yeah, feminism's all about leaving your
Yeah.
crippled husband
Yeah. The whole point of feminism is not caring.
That's exactly right. So,
Someone to leave at home, someone to fuck off from. I can't stand you. Someone who's a cripple, leave him indoors. I can't stand you.
Yeah, that's what I was.
He can't see
Rises
him gone. I told him I won't be long.
Fucking hell.
It's like they weren't even there in the first film, isn't it?
Go on, have you got,
Yeah.
Okay, so she goes off on her little adventure. She falls for a
in
handsome...
feminism.
Yeah,
Adventures in feminism.
First
She's been on
adventure,
a night
the
course.
wrong end of the stick.
Oh my god.
So she falls for a handsome, evil, though she doesn't know it, younger man who ends up imprisoning her in his kingdom, which could be university.
You mean this isn't planned out?
Oh,
Like
no,
all ours?
Change kingdom to a
Yeah.
university.
No, she's bettering herself. You just give me another idea, so it's just altered it. So Timothy Dalton, I thought he was a bit of a
Timothy Dalton?
a bit of an evil charmer. So she's fallen for him.
Right, I'm interested now.
Oh,
You got me on Timothy Dalton.
Yep.
Right, you got my vote just for saying
So-
Timothy Dalton.
He only did it twice, but he made his mark on
Yeah,
you,
he
didn't
did, yes.
So okay, this is when Grandpa Caractacus and the grandkids go searching for her and inevitably rescue her.
Right.
Bring her back where she can choose to be looking after her family again, because she's realised it's not all it's cracked up to be.
But
in
presumably
the evil
Caractacus
kingdom.
has to call his children because he's not allowed to drive Chitty Chitty Bang Bang anymore on account of...
Well, you see, I've got, for my cast, I've got Milo Parker, just because I like his face, from Mr. Holmes and the Durrells. You know Milo Parker?
Yes.
Really, because he's all thoughtful and cute, and I thought he would look good. And for the...
He'll be so pleased
for
that
his-
he's working in your epic.
yeah, and Erica Sinclair, do you know her? She is...
I think, who have you got playing the bamboo?
she's Caleb's sister from Stranger Things.
Oh, right.
I thought
okay.
a bit of feist in there.
Yeah.
She's gonna,
she's
so all the baddies and that they come across, she's gonna sort them all out. So
It's good.
it's gonna
Yeah.
be good. It's gonna be good with her.
Alright.
So yeah. So don't worry too much about any of them, because don't forget, it's all just a dream.
Oh, is this ties in with your... Oh, right, okay.
Should the dream bit not have been sort of like announced at the end of this film rather than the prequel?
Yeah,
Why
because
not?
people
Doesn't
will
really
watch
matter.
it. They'll go,
Yeah,
it's
no
on there.
start at the film.
Why
It's just
can't-
a dream.
Why can't we
Alright,
make the
I'll put down
sequel
what it says.
first and then the prequel last?
You can do that, you know.
Everyone does
It's
it.
like Harry Potter, innit? The Fantastic Beasts things, and you think, well, we know what happens. It's not like...
We know ultimately what happens, but the details have yet to be...
So I think if we
Yeah.
knew what was going to happen was that it was a dream.
Yeah. I think if in Harry Potter 1, Hagrid went, Harry, it's all a dream. the films might not have done so well.
Yeah.
Oh no, is
Yeah.
Harry going to die this time? Nope. We assumed he wasn't, but we wanted to know for sure.
Yeah.
I was just going to come up with an adventure, and then I thought Truly Scrumptious could just like wake up or fall in the shower, you know, like the Dallas.
Like Dallas?
Thing. Yeah. And I didn't really know how to work that.
Just tie it in the Dallas, everybody else ties shit in.
And then it
Yeah.
turns into Dallas.
So it's a Dallas
I
crossover,
thought
that's
into
fine.
it, yeah.
Just
Please,
say
Terry, you've come on this show and you've all seen the effort that we've all put in. And I mean, bamboo.
So have it equals.
Yeah.
Have I equaled it? No.
I mean, I thought it would be a little bit longer before we actually plumbed those depths.
A
Right.
Dallas crossover.
Right, let's, I think, yeah, okay.
Yes,
let's-
this one, it's... I mean, I've taken a bit of inspiration from Mad Max Fury Road in that it's not necessarily about the plot in this. It's about the world, about the sensation of being bowled along, about the relentless breakneck speed of it all. It's called Assault on Hushabye Mountain.
Oh.
Essentially, it sort of starts sort of similarly to where yours does actually, because the Bang Bang's just taken off, and it's sort of a bit like the end of Back to the Future.
Yep.
And it sort of takes off, but then immediately an older, battered-looking sort of Chitty Bang Bang style car pulls up next to it and goes, "You gotta get down, we need to."
Yeah.
Apparently, them sort of proto-fascist dicks from Bulgaria, yeah, they fled and they found the actual Hushabye Mountain, because obviously
Right.
the song he's been singing, we think it's a metaphor for going to sleep, as you would do. But Lullaby Bay has been, it's like Pearl Harbor over there, mate. It's fucking, it's wretched. And they're the only ones who sort of believe in it. It's one of those movies you can get there. But basically what they need to do is they very quickly go back, they just amass any motor cars. So Truly's motor car gets adapted, so there's bicycles and stuff. And
Knight Rider.
Yeah, basically there's Knight Rider. There is
18 van.
There is Bessie from Doctor Who.
Herbie.
Generally.
all of those things. Yeah, perfect. What's that flag from? Doesn't matter. But basically, they're sort of thing. And then obviously Grandpa gets to come along because he knows how to sort out the and he says it, fuzzy wuzzies. Shouldn't say it, but that's what he calls them. And they basically, it's just a sort of a relentless thing. All the little mucky kids that they've brought out of Bulgaria, they've had a bit of a wash. They each get given, and I've changed it. They all get given a stick of bamboo, like a punji stick. It's like sharpened to fuck at the end, and they basically have to take back Hushabye Mountain.
Nice.
And stop the Bulgarians from ruining sleep forever.
Wow.
There we go. Right, well, that's the sequels done. Let's move on. Okay, it's Requel time. Let's start with Terry this time.
You get you. Hold your hats on, lads. Honestly.
Oh, is it about Barbara Windsor?
No.
It's not a good idea to oversell these things.
Hold your hats. Strap yourselves in.
It's going to be a good one.
I haven't put much thought into it, but I have done quite a bit of research. So.
Well, you watched the film.
I haven't changed the film at all. The film's going to be like just a straight remake, basically. But I have put the family of the meerkat in as the cast.
Okay.
Bear with me. Right?
Which meerkats?
The
Oh, I see.
Compare the meerkat.
The Russian meerkats from the adverts.
Yeah,
Oh, there's
I'm not saying no product placement and all that lot. But
I can't even remember what they advertised.
So my research takes me to just a bit of background on these meerkats, right? So Sergei is the head of IT, right? And he's like, this is Grandpa
You're going to say
Potts.
the head of a Russian
this
mafia.
Sergei is currently influencing the American political mainstream.
Sergei has bought up large areas of London's docklands.
So you've done the.
You want to nominate the president?
So you've done the cast as the meerkats.
This is the cast, but there's a reason why they fit so beautifully. So Sergei is Grandpa Potts, okay? He is very old, this meerkat. He's no less than 77 years old. Nobody knows how old he is, so he's perfect. He's an adventurer. He's an adventurer, and he actually lost his... He's a botcher adventurer. And he lost his job because he faked a moon landing. I thought, as Grandpa Potts, he fits right in. He'll do really well. So that's good. So,
the way you said fake to moon, I was thinking of like Harry Met Sally type faking. It's like, oh, a moon landing, oh, that's a moon landing. Oh, you've landed on my moon.
I'll fly while he's flying.
Oh, it's deployed.
Oh, the Sea of Tranquility, you flat bastard.
Once lost.
Right, go on then.
I don't think we're feeling this.
Oh, yeah.
But I will go on.
Go.
So Alexander... He's a handsome, successful business cat, and he has many claws in many pies. He's a talented singer. Oh, who else do we know that's a talented singer?
Meatloaf.
No.
Beyonce.
Oh, sorry.
Caractacus Potts.
Yep, you're right.
And he follows in the footsteps of his ancestors, takes over the family business, and he helps many peoples across the globe, apparently. So I just thought, as a character... what do you call it?
Like a transplant.
No, never mind. Look me with. So I just thought he fits right into that. So a nag, Yakov. Do you know what he?
I beg your pardon. It's a family show.
Yakov
Chitty Bang Bang.
Yakov Meerkat. He is a gentle kind soul, and he is a chief toy maker.
Oh, Benny Hill.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm like, oh my, I was falling in love with this. So we've got two cheeky, pesky, mischievous children, Bogdan and let me read my notes. So and Oleg, so they're the kids, fine. And Maya, who is a glamorous, beautiful teacher, she enjoys a cocktail or two in the Queasy Mongoose.
It's got to be true. Scrumptious. She enjoys a cocktail.
So she's that's truly scrumptious. So okay, we've got all the meerkats as the nice, good, kind people. And I thought, like Muppet style, proper Muppet style, you're gonna have like a baddie or something as a human.
Right.
It's gonna be placed right in there.
Right.
So I thought for the Baroness, Kate Blanchett would do really well in that role. I thought she'd just handle it really well and be really good. For the baddie, get this. The baddie Baron Bombast is Donald Trump. But he's not called Baron Bombast, he's called Baron Bombasted. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a meerkat-based pun name for the film?
I do. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
So no,
It's great question.
I've just changed the spelling.
Answer the question, Senator. Do you have?
She's put some backward R's in it. That's well Russian.
Chihaty. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
all right. Okay.
Think about that.
You've thought about it.
Yeah.
Do you want to know who the child catcher is?
I'm all right.
Yeah, fine.
Go on, tell
That is
us.
not how we treat our guests, Dominic.
Go.
Thomas, you stop it at once.
So some might not like one of these, so I've got two alternatives.
If it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he'll love it.
Yeah, all over that shit. Yeah.
I've got Craig Revel Hall from Strictly Come Dancing because he kind of looks like him, and he probably hates kids. And he's a dancer.
And also,
Well,
he's out
He's a
yeah,
ballet
the
dancer.
child catcher, the performer, I forget his name, but he was a ballet dancer.
Yeah.
So that is
Quite
important for
fitting.
the movement. Yeah.
Or alternatively, Gary Glitter,
Oh!
because he was the original.
You were doing so well.
too far.
You were doing so well.
And he's
Four.
just as ugly.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Would you allow?
No, that
his
wasn't a
wig
glitter
back?
song. That was.
But
I wanted to say.
T-Rex, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't back that up with any musical knowledge at all.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the moving on. I don't know what.
sorry about that.
Have you got any more?
Let's
Have you
change the
got,
subject.
have you got any more criminal cast to add to it before we move on?
Time for your story.
Well,
yeah,
he's going to get well and truly taken down, so.
Right.
Taking down requels. So, my requel is called Gen 11. I've gone for the. It's one of those ones where it's a remake, but it's kind of ashamed of it being a remake, so
Right.
it tries to avoid any sort of direct things. But I mean, it's not so bad. The year is 2075. Correcticus Potts, in a sort of a last-ditch effort to protect whichever vague place it is that his family are from. It's never really pointed out, but it is filmed mainly at Pinewood and France and Germany. So you see French or German countryside. But it's put together a crack team of outlaws as this sort of set of freedom fighters to try and overthrow this sort of unpleasant power that's going around. There includes Lubly Fuckable. Because we're not messing around with truly scrumptious.
Yeah.
No,
Soft doodle entendres.
lubely fuckable. I mean, she is wet and fuckable, right? That's
Please tell me the kids don't sing that song on the beach. That would be a different film altogether.
do you know what?
The orifice is quite so moist.
Not quite, no. But she's a cyber deeply upsetting. Yeah. No, she buries them in the sand because they're dead. They're not dead. But she's a cyber enhanced ninja and his lover. So I've been watching that Altered Carbon show, and so I've gone a bit sort of cyberpunk with it. The children. They're actually a single AI consciousness spread over two bodies, like they are in the first film. Just one personality spread between two children. Absolutely fine. Jipa which is Grandpa shortened. He's a World War IV veteran who's prone to rage and flashbacks with lasers. And so they're in their ship. It's a bit like Firefly, I suppose, and it's sort of a bit beat up. You can see all the scarring on it, and that's called Gen 11. That's it, and it's sort of the wings come out and they're sort of like concertinaed out and stuff. You can sort of see where the Chitty Bang Bang would be. But yeah, and they actually have to fight the alien overlords, the Vulcans, and it's very funny because they've got pointy ears, but they're clearly German, so that's a nice little blend together. And the thing is, that's where Grandpa lost his leg in the fight. The World War IV was to prevent them from taking over. That failed, but he still wants to get back out there.
Mm-hmm.
And Potts, his old nemesis, who sided with the Vulcans, they used to be proper good mates and stuff. They used to fight side by side. They were both sort of crack hitmen in the Intergalactic Police Squad. But unfortunately, his mate, he never says his name. It's a bit like sort of Judge Dredd kind of thing. You never see his face. He never mentions his name, but he used to be his mate, and he's now achieved the rank of pedo-in-chief in the Vulcans' army. And do you know what? He's actually worse than that sounds.
Yeah, that does sound pretty bad.
Yeah, and so it's a story of how this ragtag group, using just their wits, the skills that they've amassed, and the Gen 11 managed to. Well, do they take back? You know, it'll probably be at least 3 films to find out. But
Yeah.
they'll
So we're talking franchise rights and.
Well, I'm thinking they're probably going to have something like the Lethal Sun. That's a big space station in the sky that they blow up due to a flaw.
Oh.
They might not do that, but it'll be something. It'll be something.
They do it. They'll do it at least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Well, they'll do it, and then it'll turn out they just pretended they did it, and they're still just sat in the Gen 11, just picking their noses and smoking cigarettes, just really not bothered. Yeah.
Cool.
Was it all a dream?
Some of it was, yeah. I think they're. Are you?
Solid dream.
Are you just
Mine.
Right,
Mine.
and also it stars Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Right, I'm gonna do mine now.
Because you've just written it down during edits.
Because I'll tell you why. Because I'll just have to read it. My requel was Chitty Chitty Bond.
Oh.
So you've already cashed in on the James Bond thing.
We've had a little,
So it was to cash in on both Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and James Bond. The producers smashed the two together and do a reboot of Chitty Bang Bang. It now has Daniel Craig in the title role as 007 with the gadget
I'm
lady
going to
cat.
say the title role.
Yeah. He voices the car with
Daniel
John
Craig.
No. John Ratzenberger voices Chitty. Well, I've got. So I had to come up very quickly.
Hey, you're a spy, huh?
I had to very quickly think of something else, so I've gone simple with this. I've got an exact.
Simple.
I've got.
You've gone simple.
I'm thinking
I'm not
bamboo.
so
worried that it was.
I'm thinking bamboo.
No. I've just decided to do a
Chitty and Bamboo 2.
a shot-for-shot remake of the film.
Yeah.
Right, but Jim Carrey's playing everyone. Just because I'm.
Don't you say that every time?
No.
I'm surprised.
No, in fact, you can see what Chris says every time by watching our other videos. Please like and subscribe.
No, there's no links.
Put the links on the screen.
Click Chris's face to follow him on Twitter.
And here is a link to the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang Wikipedia page. Oh, no, it's here now. Now it's here.
Anyway.
Now it's here.
Noel, do you want to go?
Mine
Yeah,
next.
we'll do-
Oh, no, yeah.
Go, you next.
Trying some links, by the way. They love that.
Yes.
They love that, the kids.
I am. When my son was about 5 or 6, we were picking our next film for a love film or something.
Right.
We were starting to let the kids actually pick films, and he said, "Oh, I want to watch that one with the car." And I went, "Which one do you mean?" He went, "That one, Chitty Bing Bang Bong."
Nice.
Just cracked us up. And ever since that day, about once a month, I just stop in the street and go, Chitty Bing Bing Bong, and I just start laughing to myself.
To yourself.
Nice.
And now I've got the chance to make Chitty
make
Bing Bang
it real,
Bong.
yeah.
I want to make a reality. And I just go, well, what is the film Chitty Bing Bang Bong?
I want
I
to know
think-
now.
Can't wait for this.
Well,
I think it's going to be tasteful.
yeah, it's going to be a Pixar crossover.
Nice.
All right.
Bing Bong from Inside Out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
little
Right.
imaginary character. It was just a dream. Got lost.
Oh.
It is. So they go off and rescue Bing Bong. So Chitty Bang Bang rescues Bing Bong, and it goes Chitty Bing Bang Bong. And I thought, well, if we're going to go for the Pixar crossover, let's get them fucking all in there. So obviously, when they're doing the bit in the sky, they bump into the guy in the house with all the balloons.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And also, my prequel will have been out by then.
Will it?
So-
Oh yeah.
You can have a bit of bamboo in there if you want. That's all I'm
Well,
willing
that's
to, you
It's
know.
not Pixar canon.
Chitty Bing Bang Bamboo.
What else?
That's the 5 minute short before the film.
The toys that come to life at the end of the film.
Yeah,
So you
sorry,
get a bit
yeah.
of Toy Story in
I love
there.
Yeah.
The story of how they incite rebellion in Bulgaria. That's basically the plot of.
Ratatouille.
Not the Bug's Life.
Oh, yeah.
Bug's Life.
I figure the pond that she keeps driving into, Nemo lives in there.
How are we getting?
Oh, do you know
else
what?
we need?
That's perfect.
There's some
because,
cooking,
Because
so-
what happens
Brave.
when she goes
Oh yeah,
into,
somebody turns into a bear at some point.
when she goes into the pond, Nemo's dad can be all like, "Watch out! What are you doing?" And then Dory can be like, "Oh, who's this?" Because she always forgets who it is.
Oh,
So like
totally.
third time she goes in, "Oh, hello, nice to meet you. My name's Dory." Oh, it'd be
What about The
brilliant.
Incredibles? How are we getting that?
I don't know, help me out here.
You mean this isn't already planned out and thought through?
What about Coco? Where's Coco getting?
Yeah,
I
where
haven't
is
seen that one
Coco?
yet.
Yeah.
What about the dolls in the boxes?
That's Toy Story.
Yeah,
Like
that'll be there.
Yeah.
Dolls come to life.
What about
So,
I suppose those aliens, will they be part of the Toy Story thing, or will they be
What aliens?
the aliens in Toy Story 2?
The
Oh,
Clark.
right.
Oh.
They could be the kids
Yeah,
under
they're-
the
Oh,
sewers
yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
sewers.
yeah.
All right.
Another
Yeah, yeah.
collection
Yeah.
of
And
more than one
abundant.
Oh,
thing,
right,
but with one
Ratatouille is
personality.
cooking
Yeah,
for
yeah.
kids in
Yeah.
the sewer. And
Yeah.
Oh, they're the Morlock children.
Yeah,
They've got,
yeah, the Mahawk children, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Cool.
Right.
All right, it's good. It's good.
Bing Bang Bong.
Chitty Bing Bang Bong.
Do you know what? And do you know what? You can do a sequel to that, Chitty Bing Bang Bong Satellite of Love. That'd be great. You got a Lou Reed soundtrack there. It'd be perfect. You can put it in space. That's when you can add Wall-E.
Yes, Wall-E.
Wall-E, yeah.
Yeah, when you go into space, you can have that Satellite of Love.
Right. Let's,
Well, if you thought that one was thought out,
Ooh,
so my Requel is not a shot-for-shot remake. They brought in a brand new director, and that director is Mr. Michael Bay.
oh.
And what they've said is look, you've done really well with Transformers. We need to reimagine Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is Megatron,
Right, okay.
right?
Yeah.
And he's got to defend the Allspark. The Megatron's a good one.
No.
Who's
No.
the bad-
Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime. Right, okay.
I wondered where you were going with that.
I like this.
The investors were pulling out as we were speaking. What the fuck? He's
No,
messing.
right, okay. No, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang's Megatron, and and he's been taken over by the evil ones on the dark side of the moon, and the Transformers have to defeat Megatron / Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Optimus Prime.
Yeah,
So is
Optimus
Chitty
Prime's
Bang
a
Bang
goodie.
good?
yeah.
So-
No. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang's the baddie.
What?
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang's the baddie because he's been taken
Oh,
over.
right.
So they have to take
Shit.
him and the Allspark to Hush by a Mountain, and put them together
Right.
to turn him back into the car.
Okay.
So that
Also,
sort of Power Rangers element
Dwayne The
to
Rock
it.
Johnson.
He voices Chitty,
Divine
the good and the bad.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson plays
with
Megan
his-
Fox in it. Yeah.
You know, I don't think
Running
anybody's.
around in a tank top.
I don't think anybody's put Dick Van Dyke in him, have they?
I have.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah,
you
yeah,
got-
Yeah.
yeah.
White hair.
Yeah.
You've got Dick Van Dyke of today.
Yeah, and Jack Black as the granddad.
Of course.
Yeah,
Why
and
not?
that's mine.
What's it called?
I didn't have a name for it. I was just
Michael Bay is like Chitty Bang Bang
Bang,
Bang
bang,
Bang Bang
bang, bang. So there we go.
Yeah.
Smash
Very good.
cut.
All right. That's everybody in
Chitty
there.
smash
Yeah.
cut.
Right, it's time to go to the recap.
Oh.
and the results.
Let's count everyone's votes. They're piling in.
Okay, it's time for the recap. So let's do the prequels. Let's go Dom round this way.
Okay, child catcher origin story, really spoiled kid, Percy Peterson,
Yeah.
collects everything, gets a little brother, decides to start collecting children, and that's where he becomes the child collector and then morphs into the child catcher.
It's strong. It's a strong contender. Yeah, no.
Imperial Bond.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
The Empire set Bond. Gadget, car, thriller.
Yeah, good. Mine was the whole bamboo. How can I forget?
I'm
Adventures,
amazed you actually admitted that.
Adventures of my old bamboo.
Yep.
Speaks for itself. No, John Ratzenberger voice.
Hey, I tell you something about Green Bamboo.
Still lasting way longer than it.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Oh,
Oh no, we nearly lost the manuscript of my old Bamboo.
However would you have managed with
I
that?
don't know.
So with mine, basically, bang bang, I landed in the cuckoo's nest. So Grandpa Potts was crazy, got banged in an asylum, and did all his dreaming of his adventures.
it was all a dream.
Yeah. it was all good.
Mine was the story of how Jemima, the absent wife of Caractacus, came into his life and then left after she destroyed his automaton army and started working for the special service, and how her brother didn't care for his niece and nephew and went to a non-specified European country where he took his very, very recognisable nose and his ability for catching, and we assume started a new career.
Right. Okay. What do we think? Well, I like the twist with the it's all a dream, but you might put people off. So I don't know.
If you let people know that it's a dream at the
Yeah,
beginning
but
of
I
the
also
film,
like
it
your
really-
collector idea. I like that collecting.
Yeah,
I like
That's
the
good.
collector.
I like the
I
collector.
think It's All a Dream is one of my.
I mean, I love the old bamboo, but
Actually,
but I like the
one
collector.
second for me.
Basically, what we've got to do is we've got to just assume that the old bamboo is the one that would be made. And we're going to try and
Yeah, you don't need votes. Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's too good.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. No, I think the collector one for me.
I like the collector.
Yeah.
I included a bit of an
bamboo
origin
callback.
story. I included a
Yeah.
bit of an origin story as well, so I'm happy for a child catcher origin. That sounds
Yeah.
fine
No,
to
it
me.
sounds
Lovely.
good. Sounds good. Okay, prequels. Well, prequels, isn't it? Sequels.
After selling the dog whistles, they look towards moving into a brand new business. End up in Shoreditch. She's always
What was it called?
hang on, she's always wanted to
How could you
run
spoil
a
it?
really, really small bakery, just selling sponge-based desserts. The title is Itty Bitty Flam Flam.
You couldn't even finish your own title, mate.
Itty Bitty Flam Flam.
Okay.
I had a choice.
Oh, you did. Oh, this is crunch time. You got to pick.
This one.
You got to pick one.
So it's either basically Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or I think I'm going to pitch the John Grisham
Courtroom
drama.
What you've done there, Noel, is you've said, would you like undercooked chicken or undercooked pork? that's what you've done there. The offers you've made to us.
And everybody around the table's gone, I would rather have bamboo.
Yeah, give me the bamboo.
Bamboo
Yeah.
shoots. Mine was multi-world meltdown. So after the events in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, all the things that had flown off in various films all come together, multiverse type thing. And nothing happened. No, they all have to try and work together to get back to the.
Specific
Yeah.
To be honest, nothing specific happened in it.
No, that's well, many of mine either.
Terry?
So mine is where Caractacus Potts has gone blind and Truly Scrumptious thinks, fuck this for a lark, and bugs off, has an adventure, finds Timothy Dalton. Timothy Dalton's arms very warm and cosy until she realises he's just an evil...
University
charmer.
University
So
charm. With tenure.
So Caractacus and his lovely grandchildren set out to foil it and bring her back and imprison her once more.
Wow.
At her own will.
Okay, Andy.
Mine was Assault on Hushabye Mountain, a relentless and realistic look at it's a ground assault and modest air assault on the real Hushabye Mountain to prevent the Bulgarians from ruining sleep after they get booted out of Bulgaria.
Okay. What do we think?
Well, I'm liking the multiverse and Hushabye Mountain.
Those are my 2 votes.
I think the Hushabye Mountain.
The Assault on Hushabye Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so
So
Eddie
the-
wins
I'll
that.
vote for
I
mine.
won.
Eddie wins.
Hushabye Mountain.
The Itty Bitty Flam Plan was a very close second.
Yeah. With 1 vote. Everything else got no votes.
I'll tell you what, as a nod to the bamboo continuity, I will have one of the Bulgarians will start doing a load of spinny stuff with a bamboo stick, and then one of the Morlock children will
We'll just shoot it.
just
Yeah.
or just
And
do
then,
the
no.
In the face.
Yeah.
But you just have a CGI bamboo just going down the river, and then
Yeah.
just John Ratzenberg is always going,
No, John won't do that. He won't, John won't. You'd have to get an impersonator to do the vote. He won't do if it's not the main
Not
thing.
canon.
He won't do
Right.
it.
Fair enough.
It's like Tom Hanks with Toy
with
Story.
his brother.
Yeah, get his
yeah,
brother
Ah.
in for.
Jeff Hanks.
You want how many Woody Dolls voice in? Fucking get him in. I'm busy.
Does John have a brother?
Yeah, Steve. Steve.
I might, do you know what?
Steve
I might
Ratzenberger.
get the guy who plays Norm in Cheers to do it. just to rub him up the wrong way.
Yeah.
If he's not going to do my bloody film,
Brilliant.
I'll get his mate to do it instead.
All right. Right.
Everyone
we
will go
got
bamboo as he walks in.
Requels then.
Recall.
Yep.
Where the big points count.
Oh, it's still all to play for.
Yeah.
So this is Michael Bay directs a crossover between Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and Transformers.
Chitty chitty bang 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 bang.
starring-
Nobody knows who the good ones are.
Just
know
like
what?
the real thing. Then.
Oh.
Which robot's this again?
Do you know what? This is the thing. The thing with a Michael Bay film is you don't need plot. You need explosions.
You need to fuck the frame.
Yeah. You need it all in orange and teal. And you need a hot woman played by Jack Black as well.
I thought Megan Fox was played by Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
No. Oh, look, we don't want to stretch Dwayne too much. He is an incredible actor.
I'm sorry, you've been throwing a lot of work his way recently.
He's got too much now. Too much.
So they're going to take the all spark to Hushabye Mountain. So that's mine. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang Bang.
Yeah. A Michael Bay film. Yeah, I can see the trailer.
Chitty Big Bang Bong.
I'll be honest, he's there
It
every
just
point
makes
and
me
it's
think-
going
It
forward.
just makes me think of Lou Reed every time. It's brilliant.
Oh, dear.
Pixar mashup.
Yeah, Pixar mashup. Right, mine was the James Bond thing, or Jim Carrey as everyone.
Well,
Chitty
it didn't
Bond
win
Bond.
Prequel. That's not going to win this one.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was so special it didn't really need messing with, so I just thought I'd put the meerkats in. Take down
The original
Donald-
arguments
Let's
are
not mess
finished
with
now,
the
yeah.
film.
Take
Yeah.
Donald
Yeah.
Trump
You can't add
bloodlines.
to it now, yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I've got a hot woman in. I've got Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, the meerkats.
And
The
I know,
original
I
was so
just-
special,
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't need messing with.
I know,
That's
but-
sort of the point of this show.
The meerkats who are good lookout people. You know,
Yeah.
they-
That was like when we did Goonies and Tom went, I'd just like a sort of cleaned up version of the Goonies. And
Yeah.
Just
Remastered.
just remaster
Yeah.
it, balance out some of the
Yeah.
sound issues.
Well, I agreed with him, so.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't really in the spirit of the thing. I don't
I
think.
thought meerkats would be a better lookout than the toy maker. That
All right.
But yeah, I thought that. Baron Bombasted is going to get taken down by the meerkats.
Right. Again, you're adding stuff that you should say.
I'm not. I didn't say
This is just a recap.
No, I
It's
didn't
not.
say
You're
that.
not allowed to add stuff to swing votes.
The meerkats are going to take down Baron Bombasted, but it's a straight remake by the meerkats.
Just get political.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
The real question is, can you beat Chitty Bing Bang Bong?
No.
don't know, but let's see what Eddie has to say.
Well, mine was.
Have you got a snappy title? That's really funny.
No, just Gen 11, which is
Yeah.
a bit of a deep cut, but that's okay. It's sort of basically a Firefly kind of ragtag bunch with lewdly fuckable cyber-enhanced ninja, the children who share a single AI consciousness, Grandpa, the World War IV vet, fighting the Vulgans, and Potts, old nemesis, who's become the Vulgans' pedo-in-chief.
Right.
That's way too
So,
clever.
Noel is what we're saying?
Yeah, we're saying
no,
Chitty Bing Bang Bong.
Chitty
Chitty on a Bing Bong.
Bing Bang Bong for me.
Chitty
too.
Bing Bang
Yeah.
Bong.
Provided the sequel is Chitty Bing Bang.
Congratulations, your film will be
I'm
made.
in, yeah, I'm absolutely in.
Chitty Bing
Fergal
Bang
will be
Bong.
delighted.
Yes, yes. We finally get to see the film
Yeah.
we've been clamouring for all these years.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. No,
Right,
no,
well,
for
we're
that.
at the end. That's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, well and truly scrumptiously done.
Really scrumptious.
Yeah, we'll see you again next time.
We've
Don't
bamboozled
click
the fuck
anywhere.
out of that.
Don't click anywhere. Don't. Well, you can like and subscribe if you want, but just don't click anywhere on here because no, what will happen. Even though they keep claiming it will.